We live in the age of softness, a time where pleasure is praised and suffering is feared. But Nietzsche would scoff, because to him, comfort is the cage of the soul. We've traded meaning for convenience, purpose for entertainment. Instead of facing life, we scroll through it. Instead of becoming, we remain stagnant, sedated, silent. And then we wonder, why do I feel empty? Because weakness doesn't arrive with a bang. It grows quietly, in warm beds, in endless dopamine. In every moment, we choose ease over effort. It eats your hunger, dulls your edge, makes you forget you were born to struggle toward greatness, not coast toward safety. Nietzsche called it the herd, the mass of men who would rather obey than think, hide than rise, exist than live. But you, if you are listening, you are not like them. You don't want survival. You want transformation. You want to feel the fire of becoming. And to do that, you must kill the softness inside you. Not tomorrow. Now, no more compromise. No more gentle lies. You must welcome discomfort. Hunt it. Because only discomfort awakens the will. You are not made to be safe. You are made to become something no one else dares to be. There's a phrase whispered in modern ears. You are enough. It is spoken like a spell, repeated like scripture. Self-help books, influencers, therapists, they chant it with a smile. But Nietzsche would scoff. You are enough? What if you are not? What if the truth is brutal, that you are weak, mediocre, untested, and unproven? What then? To tell a man he is enough is to castrate his potential, to rob him of transformation. The truth is not soft. The truth is this: you are not enough. Not yet, and that's a gift. It means you have work to do. You have mountains to climb, demons to face. You have a self to destroy, and a stronger self to build in its place. The cult of self-love wants you to embrace your flaws, your pain, your comfort zones. But philosophy, real philosophy, demands more. Nietzsche demands more. He teaches, love yourself not as you are, but as you could become. Love the version of yourself that you are terrified to face, the one hidden beneath your excuses, your fears, your laziness. If you truly love yourself, you will not accept weakness. You will not justify it. You will declare war on it. Self-love is not self-praise. It is self-discipline. It is waking up early, lifting heavy, thinking hard, cutting lies, facing silence. You don't need affirmation. You need fire. You don't need comfort. You need conquest. Pain is not a punishment. Pain is a teacher. It speaks a language that no pleasure can. It is the signal that you are alive and that you are changing. Nietzsche believed in the power of suffering, not as something to be avoided, but as something to be used. When you lift the weight, when you face the rejection, when you sit in silence with your failures, you are transforming. Pain is the forge. The self you admire, the one who is sharp, resilient, clear, that self is built in. Discomfort. But most people run from it. They take pills. They distract. They scroll. But what if you didn't run? What if you walked into pain, eyes open? What if you trained for it like a warrior? Suffering becomes strength only when it is faced voluntarily. When you choose the mountain. When you embrace the burden. When you bleed and say, good, now I know where I'm weak. Nietzsche wrote, what does not kill me makes me stronger. This is not a cliché, it is a command. It means seek, challenge, invite it, use it, become through it. Your pain is your path, but only if you walk it. There is no transformation without destruction. You cannot build the new without burning the old. Yet most people carry their old selves like a corpse, rotting, heavy, familiar. Nietzsche knew this. To be reborn you must first die. Your habits, your fears, your limiting beliefs. They are not you. They are who you became to survive. But survival is not the goal. Power is, becoming is. And for that, the old self must be hunted. Do not be gentle with your past. Examine it with a blade. Where did you choose ease over excellence? Where did you bow to fear? Where did you lie to yourself? Mark those places. Set fire to them. Nietzsche believed in the Übermensch, the one who transcends the common, the comfortable, the cowardly. Not through fantasy, but through self-overcoming. This is your path. You do not need a new philosophy. You need a war, a personal war. And the enemy is who you were yesterday. Stop admiring your potential. Kill your patterns. Betray your comforts. Become the sculptor of your own soul. And remember, creation is pain. To chisel the new self, you must crack stone. The old you will scream, let it. Then silence it forever. Strength is not given, it is trained. And training requires resistance. Nietzsche did not want us to run from hardship, but to choose it, to create it. Voluntary discomfort is how the will is sharpened. The modern world makes everything easier. So you must become difficult. You must walk the hard path, not because you're forced to, but because you decide to. Cold showers, early mornings, intense focus, delayed gratification. These are not trends. They are tools, and tools build the will. The will is like a muscle. Without stress, it decays. With stress, it grows. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why can bear almost any how." But most men don't have a why. They drift. So start here. Choose your hardship. Pick your battle. Walk willingly into the challenge. Because the man who chooses pain can never be controlled by a dot, this is the difference between the herd and the warrior. The herd avoids the fire. The warrior walks into it, smiles, and becomes voluntary. Hardship is not cruelty. It is preparation. It is how you earn the right to be strong. It is how you separate yourself from the passive, the average, the soft. No one will come to save you. But you can become the kind of man who doesn't need saving. And that begins with hardship, chosen freely. Excuses are the fortress of the weak. They are stories we tell ourselves to avoid responsibility. Nietzsche had no tolerance for them. He understood the man who makes excuses surrenders control. He becomes a slave to his circumstance, his mood, his fear. Excuses sound intelligent. They wear the mask of logic. I don't have time. I'm too tired. It's not the right moment. But behind every excuse is a truth we don't want to face. Weakness. A refusal to do what must be done. To overcome weakness, you must declare total war on your excuses. No tolerance. No debate, only truth. Ask yourself, what would the strongest version of me do right now? Then do that. Not later. Now. Nietzsche believed in the will to power, the inner force that drives man to rise, to assert, to create. Excuses kill that force. They bury it under comfort and delay. Burn your excuses. Replace them with action. Discipline is not born in comfort. It is carved out of resistance. You must interrupt the voice that says, "I can't," and replace it with, "Watch me." You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a creator of them. Excuses are chains. Break them. And when the excuse creeps in, smile. It means the enemy is near, and you are ready for war. Solitude is not loneliness. It is a crucible. It is where noise dies and truth speaks. Nietzsche walked alone, thought alone, wrote alone. Not because he hated people, but because he needed silence to hear what others could not. In solitude, illusions are exposed. There is no audience to applaud you, no social mask to wear. Just you and the abyss of your own thoughts. Most men fear this. They crave distraction. They fear their own reflection. But isolation is a weapon. It is the forge of clarity, of conviction, of identity. Nietzsche knew. The deeper truths do not shout, they whisper. And you can only hear them when the world goes quiet. Want to overcome weakness? Step away from the herd, from constant chatter, from validation. Build a sanctuary of solitude and sit there, uncomfortable, undistracted. Alert. This is not withdrawal. It is preparation, a sharpening. Warriors retreat to train. Philosophers retreat to think. You must retreat to become. Don't fear being alone. Fear never meeting who you are in silence. In isolation, you face the real work, the rebuilding of the self, without applause, without distraction, without excuses. This is the Nietzschean path. Loneliness is not your enemy. It is your ally. So, unplug, sit still, face yourself, because only in solitude can a man truly begin his ascent. There is a kind of contempt that is holy, the contempt for your own mediocrity. Nietzsche didn't preach tolerance for weakness. He preached a radical honesty, a disgust for the parts of ourselves that cling to ease, to fear, to smallness. He taught that to rise, you must first hate the version of you that refuses to rise. Do not pity that version. Do not coddle it. Stare at it with full awareness. Say, you are not me. You are who I must overcome. Contempt is not cruelty. It is clarity. It is recognizing the chains that you forged and then snapping them with fire in your chest. It is saying, I refuse to admire the parts of me that settled, that gave in, that waited. Most people confuse acceptance with virtue. But Nietzsche says, don't accept yourself. Challenge yourself. Don't cope. Conquer. Do you want to grow? Then develop a sacred intolerance for weakness, in action, in thought, in spirit. When you procrastinate, feel the contempt rise. When you lie to yourself, let it burn. When you shrink from your path, spit on the cowardice. This is not self-hate. It is self-respect. And only the man who demands more from himself can ever become more. Contempt is the wake-up call. It is the slap in the face that says, enough. Rise now, or be swallowed by yourself. Motivation is a weak fuel. It burns bright and fast, then dies in the cold of discipline. Nietzsche didn't rely on motivation. He relied on the will, the internal engine that does not beg for inspiration. It commands. You will not always feel like acting. In fact, most of the time, you won't. That's the point. Weakness waits for emotion. Power moves without it. The will to power is this: acting in spite of mood, fear, resistance. Waking up not because you feel good, but because you gave yourself an order. And you will not disobey. Motivation says, I hope I can. The will says, I must. This is the core of strength. To act beyond pleasure, to choose pain, to do what must be done, even when the spirit is heavy and the world is quiet. Nietzsche knew. To rise, you must transcend the animal instinct, the desire for comfort. You must become the master of your own body, your own thoughts, the master of your own destiny. If you wait to feel ready, you will wait forever. You will die waiting. But if you act without readiness, if you summon the will, then nothing can stop you. Not because you are lucky, but because you are relentless. Imagine this. You must live this exact life again, every moment, every pain, every regret, eternally, forever. This is Nietzsche's idea of the eternal return, not as superstition, but as a test. If this life must repeat, are you proud of how you're living it? Would you curse its return or embrace it? This idea is not meant to depress you. It is meant to awaken you, to make you live deliberately. If every action echoes forever, then every second becomes sacred. Every choice becomes a declaration. If you waste today, you don't just lose it. You doom yourself to relive it again and again and again. So live as though your soul will echo. Speak like your words matter. Walk like your steps shape eternity. Love like it might be the only chance you get. The eternal return is not fiction. It is a mirror. And it asks you, if this life loops, are you proud of it? And if the answer is no, then you know what you must do. Change it. Now, the world is chaotic. It screams for your attention. It begs for your reaction. But Nietzsche taught, the strong man builds an inner fortress, a space within himself that is untouchable. Most people are like leaves in the wind, pushed, pulled, panicked. But you must be the mountain. To build your inner fortress, you must master two arts, detachment and direction. Detachment from external chaos, direction from inner clarity. This means saying no to gossip, to dopamine, to outrage. This means saying yes to solitude, to study, to your mission. Your mind must become your stronghold. Your thoughts must become sharpened tools, not soft pillows. Your emotions felt, but never in command. Nietzsche didn't want you to escape life. He wanted you to become strong enough to shape it. But that strength begins within. A calm mind, a clear aim, a storm outside, but silence within. You are not at the mercy of the world. You are the architect of your fortress. Weakness seeks permission. It asks, am I allowed to speak? To create? To rise? Nietzsche laughs at this. He says, permission is an illusion. No one is coming to validate you. There is no committee, no authority that can stamp you as worthy. If you wait for the world's blessing, you will rot in your potential. Greatness begins when you stop asking and start declaring. You are not a beggar. You are a builder. You are not a follower. You are a force. Stop waiting to feel ready. Start acting as if you already are. This is not arrogance. It is necessity. The herd waits. The Bermensch moves. You are allowed to think deeply, to speak boldly, to move fiercely. Not because someone told you so, but because you chose to. Kill the need for permission. Give yourself the command. Nietzsche saw life as art, not a script to follow, but a canvas to paint. Your actions, your words, your habits, they are brushstrokes. They shape your soul. Ask yourself, is your life a masterpiece or a copy? Most live like passengers. You must live like a creator. This means choosing boldly, risking deeply, living intentionally, not just existing, but expressing something true. You are the sculptor. Your pain, your joy, your struggle, they are your raw materials. The only failure is to hand the chisel to someone else. To overcome weakness, you must stop consuming life and start crafting it. Make your life so intense, so real, that even death is impressed. You've heard the truth. Now the test begins. The world will still whisper comfort. Weakness will knock each morning. But you are now armed. You know that power is trained, that pain is sacred, that solitude is strength, that the old self must burn, and the new self must bleed its way into being. Nietzsche gave you the map, but the journey, the war, is yours alone. Do not wait for applause. Do not seek ease. Do not beg for rescue. Instead, rise, walk into the fire, face your demons, embrace your solitude, choose your hardship, kill your old self, and build, step by step, the one you were born to become. The man who lives by these words does not fear death, because he died once and rose again, stronger.